4:50 and any responding south car vehicle shots fired. Utilize caution.
Hey everyone, welcome back y'all. We are back to talk about prepping again. We are going to deal with step number 3. Now I apologize I wasn't here on Saturday. I was severely debilitated with a migraine that lasted over 22 hours. I wasn't here yesterday because I still wasn't feeling the best and I had a lot of things to get done, but I'm here today on Monday. Now, if this video doesn't go up until Tuesday night, it's my apologies. I am recording it on Monday as I said I would. It is late at night, but the bottom line is this. Some of my videos have been running really slow to upload. It has taken, my last budgeting video for my other channel took literally 22 hours to upload. I'm not sure why. I've had some videos upload in minutes, some videos will take 24 hours. So with that being said, I'm here, video's coming on, here we are. So let's talk about step 3 in building your prepper pantry from the ground up. Right now on this step, you're gonna make a couple of decisions. Your first decision is gonna be, how much food preparation do you want? Are you looking to prep for a 1-month situation? Do you want food security for 3 to 6 months? Do you want it for 6 to 9? Maybe you want a whole year's worth of storage. Maybe you want more. So that's the determination that you have to make before you start this prep list. Now, this prep list is personalized for my family. Everybody has their own personal needs. Some people have personal dietary restrictions. Some people only want certain things in. Some people don't like the same foods that maybe my household likes or uses or cooks with. So with that being said, decide how much you want to have on hand. That is determined by the size of the storage that you're able to keep. If you're in an apartment, you're going to be a little bit more limited on space for where you're going to be able to keep your food versus someone like me whose basement is the same size as my house and I can put massive amount of shelves up throughout my entire basement. So pick and choose after you go ahead and choose your storage space. That was in step 2, and your storage solutions and things of that nature. Now you're on to step 3, deciding how much you need to have on hand for your food security prepper pantry stock up. So once you determine that, y'all, you're gonna get ready to start writing down in categories, and it doesn't have to be listed in order. Mine's not listed in order, but you're gonna write down categories of everything that you use in your house. Now, what I will say is this is not an end-all list, like I said. This list I will make corrections to. I will decide no longer to buy. I may buy some new things. I may change quantities. I may change how many pounds, how many flats, how many boxes, how many, whatever I need. This is just a generalized list for my house. Obviously, I can put more items on here. I could have made this a 50-page packet for me if I needed to, but I don't need to do it because I am committed in my brain knowing what I need to replace and when I need to replace it. This is just a generalized list. So we're gonna go over my prep list here in just a minute. I'm gonna show you these components real quick and then I'm gonna break them down. A binder, get one. Get one. The reason for this is you are going to have to purchase whatever you put on your prep list. Now we're gonna go through this packet here in a minute. This is my packet. This prep list is going to be on Etsy this week. It will be blank and it will be editable. So you'll be able to put your categories, your amounts, things of that nature. We'll go over that here in just a minute. Excuse me for a second. I'm drinking a lot of water today, y'all. All right, guys, here's the next thing that you need to get. You're gonna need to get a binder. And hear me out on this. A lot of preppers in the prepping world don't talk a lot about pricing or their budget for their preps. Whether it's personalized information they don't want to give out or they just choose not to include it in their videos, it's something I do. Because if I have to go to the store and I take my prep list with me, I need to know how much money I have for what items I'm going to be purchasing. So we all know inflation's going crazy. We know that groceries are going through the roof, and it is so hard to just put groceries on the table. It's hard to put meals on the table. It's hard to stock your pantry full of those items when you're trying to feed your family at the same time, and then being told, put extra items into your pantry, don't touch them as you're building up your pantry? Yes, that's why you're gonna need a binder. This is one of the binders. This is actually mine, but I'm gonna be selling some binders on my Etsy shop. So hold off if you're interested in what I'm showing you today. Give me a few days. We're gonna make an entire prepper packet for those of you who might be interested in getting things. We're gonna put it up single items, and we're gonna put it up as a packet. Single items for people who already have certain things, and a packet for people who want the whole thing together and be able to do it super easy. So here's the situation. The binder. Why you need a binder? Because you're gonna need to save money, y'all. Thanksgiving and Christmas are up and around the corner, right? And that's a time for us to stock up on some of our preps, like hams, turkeys, cream of soups, stuffings, things that go on sale, baking items. We want to stock up for those. But you're going to have to be stocking up year round. And while you're doing that, even if it's a mini stock, like a small amount of money, you need to save for items. Now, what I have here is my binder, and I have not created this yet. In the next video I will show you how I'm doing this, because this is one of my brand new binders I just pulled out. This right here is a freezer stock up. Now, I do already have this in my Etsy shop that you can purchase, and you print it out as many times as you want. Once you purchase this, you get to own the little file that you can print over and over and over again. I have meat stock up, I have canned goods stock up, I have bucket stock up. This is a freezer stock up. Now, once again, hold tight. I'm gonna make this into an entire packet for those who don't wanna buy them in single items, because single items are more expensive than buying it as a packet. I'll give you a discount as a packet. So it will include all of the trackers that you're going to need for your stock up, even your emergency preparedness for like solar panels and solar generators and other items, household items, things of that nature. Now, this prep list that I'm showing you today is strictly food. I haven't even showed you a household, so I'm working on that right now with my son. So what you're going to do is, once you get the packet, and or if you decide, hey, I've already got a binder, I just want to purchase these, hold on, because I've got these as singles. Tomorrow my son and I are going to work together to put this into an entire packet so that you can print out all of the trackers if you need them. All right, so this is the freezer stock up. So down here on the left hand side you have this little freezer icon, or I believe it's a freezer icon, and it equals whatever. And that means for every time you color in something, it's going to equal that amount. If you want it to be $5 per item, then put $5. That doesn't mean item as food. That means how much you're saving. So if you're saving $5 for each one of these icons you color in, when you're done, you count up how many icons it is. You take that and multiply it times the 5, and that's how much your total is going to be for when you go shopping for your freezer stock up. It doesn't have to be a $5 bill. It could be a $10 bill. It could be whatever. It could be a $1 bill. What you're going to do is, every time you put money into this envelope, you're going to pull this tracker out. You're going to decide how much each one of those icons are going to represent. And as you put that amount into there, you're going to color that icon, and you're going to put it into this binder. You're going to put your cash in the binder, right? And so when you're done, you zip it closed, and all your cash goes in there. That way you can section off, and you know that this is your freezer stock up. This money that you put in here is for freezer. You'll have one for meat. We'll have one for canned good. We'll have another one for buckets, for your food buckets. You will have one for household items. You will have another one, and it will just keep on going on. I will also be throwing in here emergency cash, because we always need to keep emergency cash on us. So you have that. I'll have an entire set for you guys if you buy the actual packet. If you don't, you can just buy the trackers, and you can put them in envelopes, y'all. You really don't need a binder. You can go to get a box of envelopes and just label the envelopes if you'd like. Back here are some trackers. There should be double-sided trackers, I believe. And that is for you to keep a hold of how much you're spending. So if you go out and you go and get some freezer items, but you don't spend everything that's in the freezer, you write down freezer, and then you write down how much you spent and how much you have left over, and that will tell you how much you have left over in this envelope. So I just wanted to bring that forward. Me and Philip will be working on that over the next day or two to get that put up for all of you. I will have binders. Some binders are going to be Zodiac based, and others are going to be solid colored based and things of that nature. Might have some print ones in there as well. Another thing you need to do, since you need to create your prep list, this is what we're going to talk about here in a minute. Let me move this out of the way, the binder. Since you are going to create your prep list, you're going to need something to write down your menus in, your meals. What are you using these items for? What combinations do you use these items for? So let's talk about the menu, and then we're going to come back to this list and we're going to go into detail. This is a happy planner that I just purchased. I was going to give it to my kid, but she's not interested in it. So I thought, okay, what can I use this for? This is an 18-month happy planner. Now, y'all, you don't have to get fancy. Grab a notebook, okay? Grab a calendar, like a desk calendar if you want. The sky's the limit. Get creative. Notebook, paper, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You can even just put a list on your phone for meals that you want to make. But the reason I like to have paper copies is what happens if my internet goes down, the power goes out, whatever. I need to know what I'm doing. So not only do I have the internet version of things I need to do, like the list on my phone, because I'm blind. You're thinking, why do you need a paper copy you can't see? Because my kids can. So I bought Happy Planner planners earlier this month. They were buy one, get one free. So this planner is an 18-month planner. It started in July, and I'm not going to do July because it's July 24th. Goes to August. Let's go ahead and go into September, okay? I want to show you this. This is my planner. This is where I'm going to write down the meals for the day, and anything that I might need to stock up on, I'm going to throw it in there as well. So I can go back and go, okay, what do we need to stock up on? I can throw it in here. So I'm just showing you these pages. They're all going to be the same, but they are going to be dated. They do have undated binders as well. They have disc-bound binders that you can take out sheets, move them around, and arrange them. This, unfortunately, just happens to be a spiral. This is an 18-month planner. And this is where I'm going to be planning my meals. This is where I'm going to be planning on what I need to stock up on as well. We can make little notes in the side columns here. If I run out of something, put it in here. That way, when next time we go to the store, I'll pick it up. If it's on sale, I'm going to pick up more. If I find items that are on sale, I'm definitely going to pick them up, as long as they are what my family likes to eat. Now, I made a very bad decision and a very bad mistake that I have corrected. We are no longer buying it just because it's on sale. If my family doesn't like it and we're not going to eat it, it's going to sit there and it's going to go to waste, and it's money wasted. And right now is not the time to waste your money. Only put in what you like, love, and will eat, and that you enjoy. So that was a mistake I made in the past. It was on sale. I picked it up. The kids were like, ew. I was like, ew. But I picked it up. And picking up one or two to try something new is fine. Picking up cases worth because it's on sale is not. Because if it turns out you don't like it, that's just going in the trash. There's your money in the trash. So these pages are the same. This is the month of September. Again, they do have undated planners as well. And I love this because it gives me the big wide open spaces. It gives me the dates that I need. It gives me the notes column on the side that I can write extra things if we're out of or running low on. I can plan the meals for the week. My kids can look at it at a glance. And these are sectioned off by months. So you've got all the months on the side with the tabs on the side here. So this is going to be my planner that I'm strictly using for meal planning and my preps. I have a secondary one of this that I bought. My kids are just not interested in these planners, so it's okay. I just learned that, hey, I'm going to use this as my prepping and meal planner. I've got another one that I'm going to use as my fitness planner. All right, let's go back and talk about my prep list. Understand that once you decide how many months you want to prep for, say you want a 1-year prep. Well, this list is subject to my household. You guys will get the papers that you can actually edit yourself. It'll be a document that you can edit yourself, and you can put your own titles on there. Again, like I said before, you can put what you're trying to stock up for. Like this is a freezer stock up. I have 4 deep freezers. I'm not sure if I can get all this in 4 deep freezers, but this is what I would like to have on hand. Maybe I only get half the amount of ground beef I want in there, or half the amount of chicken breasts, or maybe not enough packages of leg quarters. But this is my dream list. This is my I gotta have it if I can. I would love to have it if I can, but I don't have to have this much. But this is the list that we are working with. Your family may be vegetarian and or vegan. I was vegan for over 28 years, okay? So with that being said, my kids ate meat and still do, but I did not, and now I do. So with that being said, you're going to start making your list. That means you're going to go around your house. You're going to see what you have on hand already. You're going to make a list of items, of recipes and meals that you and your family enjoy, that you have already tried, and it's a tried and true tested meal. And you're going to start building your list from the ground up. This is going to take a while. Ask my son. So in this list, I've got the meats that we eat in this house. There was in the past, we bought some meats that we didn't really like. Now we get a little creative. The pork loin that I purchased at Sam's Club that is on here is a huge 20-pound slab of meat. I take it over to my meat counter and I say, hey, look, y'all, this is at Sam's Club. Here's this big old pork loin that is boneless. I want you to cut this in pork chop thickness and then repackage it for me this many, 8 pork chops at a time. Y'all, it's the best boneless pork chops you'll ever taste. You're not paying $3.98, $4.98, $5.98 a pound for boneless pork chops in the refrigerated section that you go grab your fresh meats at, that they've already packaged up for you. You're buying it at $1.98 at my local Sam's Club. So your Sam's Club might run, your prices run a little bit different, but $1.98 versus pork chops boneless here is almost $5 a pound. No, thank you. I'll go with the pork loin every time, and my kids go crazy. We not only use that just as a meat for the side, pork chop, boneless pork chop sandwiches are amazing, okay? So utilize your meat centers because it doesn't cost you anything for them to repackage it after they slice it in the thickness that you want, the quantities that you want, and they will repackage it for you. That saves you a lot of money right there. So here is our prep list. Some of this is in packages, some of this is in pounds, things of that nature. We go through a lot of ground beef in this house and a lot of chicken, boneless, skinless. We go through quite a bit of different meats in our house, but this is a variety to give me what my kids need, love, and want. So that is our meat stock up. The next one is our fruit and veggie stock up. So these are fruits and vegetables that we want to have on hand that are not only the canned version that we'll be getting, these are the frozen versions. This is the freezer fruit and veg stock up. Now I will say I did forget something now that I'm thinking about it. When we get to the pantry, I forgot to put canned fruit in there. I'll make that notation myself. This is my dairy section and or baking section of my freezer. Okay, y'all, I'm just showing you it so you guys can get a full view of what's going on here. Things that we want to stock up on. The only breads I want to buy from now on are like maybe some French breads or some flavored breads that we'll put with pastas. I don't have a very good baking skill. I can make sandwich bread, but I don't want to make the French bread, and I don't want to make certain types of breads, the specialty breads and that, so I will actually purchase those and throw them in my freezer. I'm happy to report that our French breads from Walmart that were $1 for the longest time and then went to $1.47 are back down to $1. Now, rumor is that Walmart is slashing over 7,000 items in their store price-wise. Don't get fooled. What they're slicing and slashing prices in one area, they're raising it in another. You think Walmart's going to help us out? The answer is no. They're going to look like they're helping us out and caring about their customers. But when you see one price go down, check all the prices of other things and see what went up. Our convenient foods. My kids do like convenient foods, and I'm okay with giving it to them. Some people are like, oh my gosh, you're going to give your kids convenient foods. Yeah, let me go look in your freezers and see if you got convenient foods. One thing on here I know already that we missed, corn dogs. My kids love corn dogs. I got a corn dog maker though. Some of these items we're going to make from scratch. Not everything is going to be made in a box. Not everything's going to come from a package or a box from the store. Some of these we're going to make from scratch. Like my black bean burgers are on here. It says 40. We're talking 40 black bean burgers. But I make them from home and from scratch. I flash freeze them. I put them in the Ziploc bags. And I throw them in the freezer. And as I need them, I get them. So some of these things we will make homemade. Some of them will be bought in packages at the store. And things of that nature. Now, like I said, there's going to be some items on here that I forgot and I didn't list myself. Oops, but you know, it is what it is. Now we should have, yep, right, we got 3 pages left. This is our pantry items. These are our canned items. These are our packaged items. Things that I will not have in here again are condiments. It's a no-go. I'm not gonna back up stock things such as Miracle Whip, dressings, ketchup, mustard, relish, pickles. Spices are not going to be on here because I can rotate through spices pretty quickly. And if I remember right, if mine serves me well, I have approximately 80 spices on hand right now. So, and they've lasted me 3 years and they're still growing strong. Some of them I refill. Others are in mason jars because I still got backup supplies. So spices aren't in here. And neither are condiments. It's not that hard for me to go out and get some Italian dressing. I have not seen a shortage on Italian dressing or even seasoning packets, things of that nature. However, this has got all of our canned vegetables, our canned beans, our tomato products, our pasta sauces on here, things of that nature. We have our pastas on here. Now the pastas, when you see a huge amount of pastas, I'm not going to list every pasta shape and size that we use. I just want 10 of each, and I want 6 different varieties, which gives me 60 count of pasta. I want 10 penne. I want 10 of the 4 count of spaghetti, y'all, okay? That's 4 pounds each, so I'm looking at 40 pounds of spaghetti. I'm looking at 10 boxes of penne at a pound a piece. I'm looking at 10 boxes of macaroni at 2 pounds a piece. So I'm not going to list every shape and size because memory is already committed to my head. And I was going to show you in this video my kitchen setup for the pantry, the working pantry I have upstairs, because y'all know that I'm starting from the ground up again. I don't have a prepper pantry back downstairs right now. It's empty. It's empty, but I'm rebuilding it now. But what I can show you is what I have left on hand. And I'm going to show you a setup on how I do my pastas and how I keep specialized canned dog food. And it's not specialized. I wouldn't say specialized. Why am I saying specialized? Just canned dog food. I call it specialized because only one dog in my house really needs it. The other ones get it as a small treat every once in a while. But I have a section for that. I use those rolling carts that you get from Walmart. The plastic one with the 3 drawers, not the skinny ones, the wide ones. And I adjusted my shelving systems in my kitchen to accommodate those and made them as pull-out drawers so that I can section off different pastas. I have a entire 3-drawer cart just for my dogs, things of that nature. So I'll be going ahead and showing you that. So that's pantry list number 1. And again, this isn't all of it. I'm not putting my oils and things like that on there. My avocado oil, my olive oil, my vegetable oil, my canola oil. I just know I need those things. I consider those in my spices as well. So we have that. This is pantry sheet number 2 for us. And again, I forgot the canned fruit. Oops. Soups. We're not going to go through a lot of soups. We're going to do the cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, and tomato. I'm no longer buying canned soups like chicken noodle, vegetable. Y'all, I can make those by the pot full. I can make them by the crock pot full, okay? And it costs so much less than those little bitty cans that they have raised the price on at Walmart. So this is just one of my lists. I've got a household list that we're working on right now. I will show you that in a few days, hopefully. As long as no hiccups come between now and then. And this right here is our dry buckets. Now, I'm not going to do a bunch of dry buckets like I used to. I used to have a massive amount of dry buckets. I want dried beans. Now, I prefer the dried beans. Some of my kids prefer the canned beans. And it's like, hold on, canned beans are nothing but cooked dried beans. Yes, I know. But sometimes it's a convenience. And we do use an Instapot, so we can cook beans in an hour. We don't have to soak overnight and things of that nature in my house. You may not have an Instapot. I do. We live on it. I kid you not. I will show you some of my favorite items coming up in this next video. Hopefully, I think it's the next video, if I remember right. Don't quote me. Where I'm showing you my storage and how I store things in the kitchen. And I will show you some of my favorite kitchen items that help me with my prepping stash and how I use things to cook so much easier. So this right here is our buckets. We are going to have our dry bean buckets. We're going to do pinto beans. We're going to do kidney beans and black beans. Right now, I converted all of those to quart-size mason jars and on the top shelf in my kitchen. I got my buckets drained. It's time to refill buckets, y'all. Yes, I use Mylar bags. I use oxygen absorbers. We'll go through that in an upcoming video when I start to prep my buckets again. So I do want the dry beans. I do want sugar. I don't know. I got some sugar fiends in this house. I know, not the healthiest thing. Philip, can you make me a cup of tea, please, as we're talking about this? So I do want that. So sugar's on here, oatmeal is on here. My kids eat oatmeal every once in a while. They would rather prefer to have boxed oatmeal, like the flavored oatmeals, versus making it flavored oatmeals. It's just their preference. And you have to stick with what your preference is. Don't go by my sheet. You got your own sheet. You got your own food in your household. You got your own meals. So you have to write a list of things that you use in your ingredients for making your meals and things of that nature. And you have to write down what you guys love. So when you make up a meal, you have to break those components down and say, hey, we're going to eat meatloaf once every 2 weeks. So if you want to do a 3-month stock up, you're going to have meatloaf twice a month for 3 months. You're going to need to have enough on hand of your items, your meat, if you use breadcrumbs or crackers as your binding agent, not the eggs, y'all, because, eggs just go in the fridge, but shelf-stable items that you're going to need, or freezer, like if you take your onions like I do. I chop up my onions and I freeze them myself. I get a 10-pound bag at Costco. I have the most amazing onion chopper on this planet. I'll have to put that in that video when I show you all my prepping things and what I cook with to make life so easy around here. And I flash freeze my onions, and then I put them in Ziploc bags and I throw them in the freezer. And when I need onions, I go there. Okay? So your spices that you're going to use for your meatloaf, y'all, I'm going to be real honest. I'm not going to go out mixing a bunch of spices like everybody tells me. Just go mix your own spices. I buy the packets. I do it the easy way. We had Mississippi roast tonight. I didn't do a whole bunch of different spices. We used a spice packet, and we put the roast into the Instapot, frozen solid, with all the spices out of that packet and the beef broth and all that stuff that we use. And in 1 hour, it was cooked. And we had that with mashed potatoes. We had some stuffing, and we had some corn, and it was absolutely amazing. And an hour before that, we didn't even know what the hell we were eating at that time, because I have not done my menu list yet. That's what I'm going to be working on this week. So we are going to have oatmeal in here too, but oatmeal, we're only going to have 1 bucket. Oatmeal's for oatmeal cookies, and if the kids decide they want oatmeal, that's fine. But let me tell you, oatmeal raisin cookies is my weakness, along with chocolate chip cookies. So even in my dairy and baking freezer, you saw cookie dough, okay? And cookie dough is not me going out and buying cookie dough. We're making cookie dough. We break it down. We have like a little dough hook or dough scooper, and we scoop it and we just plop it onto a baking sheet, and we make little dough balls out of the cookie dough. We flash freeze them. They become little hard balls after about 8 hours. I take the trays out of the freezer. I just put them all into a Ziploc bag because they're hard little balls, so they're not going to stick together. I throw them immediately back into the freezer. And then when we want cookies, say I want 3 cookies at night and everybody's asleep and I just want to make me a little, snack. Can I get like 3 or 4 cookies? I'll go down and grab 3 or 4 of those little chocolate chip dough balls that we made, this cookie dough that we made at home from scratch. I'll put them in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes and I'll get 3 or 4 cookies at a time. It's also good to do that in advance if you're going to make cookies for holidays or birthdays or any kind of celebration. You can do that, and you're going to see us do that. I'm going to be walking you through all those steps. When I cut onions, I'm going to show you that I'm cutting the onions. When I cut the peppers, I'm going to show you that. When I'm making the cookie dough and things of that nature, I'm going to show you how I do it from start to end. I'm going to show you the dough balls and how I do it and things of that nature. I'm going to break everything down for you. These videos are going to be so comprehensive and depth entailed. It's going to be crazy. So this is my prepping list. This is not the whole detailed prepper list. Like I said, there's some things on here I even forgot, but I've got it committed to memory. And I know once I got the shelves downstairs and I reline all my shelves back up, I can visualize in my head, okay, this is the shelf that I have with all my vegetables on. This is the shelf with all my pasta sauces and tomato related products. This is the shelf that needs to have all this on. This is the shelf with all the canned fruit, canned meats, canned whatever. All of that on there. I have it up in my cabinets and I have it downstairs in my basement. What I would like to do and what I'm hoping to do, depending on the price. I want to buy 1 for now and the 2 for later. I'm going to teach you how to rotate your items so that you always have a stocked pantry. You don't have to be like me and eat down 2 years worth of pantry stock ups like I did. But that's okay. To each is their own. I'm okay with what I did. I am secured with what I did. I know I can go out and get more food. That's okay. So I want to show you guys how to do this from the ground up. So this prepping list will not have anything on it that has all my detailed information. It won't even say freezer stock up. It won't say pantry stock up. You'll be able to input all of your information in here. What I suggest is right now, grab a notebook, start writing everything down. Start thinking of your favorite meals. Get your recipes together. Allrecipes.com is one of my absolute favorite sites because you can change the serving size. If you're a family of 2, you're going to do smaller versions. Or maybe you make 4 servings. One for you and your spouse or partner or whoever for that night, and one for either later that you can freeze or for the next day for lunch or dinner. What we do is we make enough at dinner for lunch the next day. My kids like to have a lot of hot foods on hand. Other things you don't see in this packet are things like cereal and chips, things that don't have that long of a shelf life that I want to rotate faster, and I don't want a massive stock up or a 3 to 6 month stock up in my pantry. Now, as I said, your pantry list, your prep list is all going to make a difference depending on how much you want to stock up. If you are only looking for a 1 month stock up, it'll be a lot easier. You're going to have to show patience and time because stocking up on all these different items is a lot of money. And it's going to take you a while. You're not going to build your prepper pantry overnight. Not unless you're stocking it up in lightning speed. There are different lists out there that you can go and look at that are generalized lists. What I suggest, once again, you grab a notebook, you decide to write down what you already have in your house that you use on a day-to-day basis, a week-to-week basis, meals that you love, things of that nature. And you make sure you have enough on hand for how many times you want to make it within a certain period. It's all about math. You want 2 of this meal and you want it 3 times a month. So you want this meal twice. You want this meal twice a month for 3 months. Twice a month for 3 months. So you would take 2 times 3 and you'd have to have enough on hand for 6 of that meal, every ingredient. Now, the refrigerated items and the items that are perishable and they don't last very long, I don't do a prep list for. I just do a grocery list for those. If I start to run out of mustard, something's going to happen in this house because, y'all, I love my mustard. But I don't stock up on a lot of coffee like I used to. Coffee can go rancid really fast. My dog foods, I only stock up on that. Let me go back here. In my dog foods, I have 2 different types of dog foods. I believe it's on this list here. Don't quote me, but I think I got it on this list at the bottom. My dog food says 6 plus 2. I buy 6 bags of dog food maximum. Usually 3 bags at a time, but 6 bags plus 2. The other 2 bags are for Jaya. And Jaya needs specialized dog food because she has pancreatitis and she's got to be grain-free. So I buy her bags of dog food, which is sweet potato and lentil at Costco in 20-pound packages for $20. Well, 2 20-pound packages for a half dachshund, half Chihuahua. She's a Chiweenie. It's going to last me a very long time. My other Chihuahuas, they eat Little Caesar, which is 12 pounds, and it's $20. No, is it $20? No, $19. Woo, $19. It's $18 and some change. $19, 20, probably closer to 20 for those bags, but they're only 12-pound bags. And I've got a total of 4 dogs eating that. I do not buy treats anymore. I've stopped buying treats. I give them human treats. They might get a piece of beef. Jaya is allergic to chicken. She's grain-free, she's chicken-free, she's turkey-free. So I may cut up a meatball, and she may get a meatball. Things of that nature. I don't buy the stuff in the store like that. You don't see jelly on here because I don't like keeping jelly in my shelf-stable items for long periods of time. Same thing with peanut butter. I found that peanut butter just started going rancid after a while. So I had to throw out jars of peanut butter. There are things in this prep list that I have just committed to memory that I want to buy less of. So you need to know what you're going to buy more of, what you're going to need to buy less of, how much you want to stock up, and then you start building your stock up quantities from there. But again, it all goes back to how much storage space do you have first. Then how many months you want to stock up for. Then you start getting into your prep list and making it, create it yourself. The reason you don't want to go online and do everybody else's prep list is because that might not meet your needs. My prepping may not meet your needs, your household size. Maybe you got a smaller household. I got 3 teenagers that will eat you out of house and home. I always tell people, my kids act like they have an NFL appetite, but I don't have the NFL budget. So we're going to have to make do with that. Now, I did have a comment before saying that somebody said, I don't recommend that your children have the freezers and refrigerators in their room. You guys see my kids have 7.5 cubic foot refrigerators. In fact, Danya has declined getting one, so hers and mine are going to stay in the kitchen. We have a 7.5 cubic foot refrigerator in the kitchen. The first week of September, I will show you that and how I stock that. That is for her and me. Philip has his own 7.5 cubic foot refrigerator, and Jessie has her own. Now, I do have a 19 cubic foot refrigerator downstairs that's going to hold over any overstock and any extras like mustards or ketchups that could be open, because I'm getting my kids those little squeeze bottles so they can have their condiments in something that is uniform and it's easier. Those different types of bottles and shapes, they drive me insane, y'all, because they don't fit in the refrigerator nice and neat. So they're going to get their little squeeze bottles with all their condiments, and all the overage is going to be downstairs in the 19 cubic foot refrigerator in my basement. The reason for the 7.5 cubic foot refrigerators in my kids' rooms is for them to become a lot more self-sufficient. And I'm not going to have my teenagers fighting that somebody stole somebody's chicken nuggets or somebody took somebody's ice cream pint or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna choose not to battle that battle, and my kids don't want to one of the other kids taking their items anyways. So what goes in their refrigerators are things that they eat on a weekly basis. Leftovers from dinners, they each get a container to put in their fridge for lunch the next day. And in their freezers, they're able to get things like their own ice cream bars or their own bags of fruit. Danya and Jessica are very big about smoothies. But y'all, if they be breaking up into my strawberries, we're going to have a problem. That is why I chose to section it off that way. If my kids can't take it to the dorms, which I'll be real honest, those refrigerators are not that big. You can take that to a dorm. It would have fit nicely in my dorm room, let me tell you. And I had a single dorm room when I was in college. But they can choose to leave it here and always come back for it when they move out. Trust me, they're going to want these. They love their refrigerators, okay? They got a great freezer space on it. They make their own ice, because another thing, people were eating people's ice. And y'all, I got ice trays galore. I even got an ice machine that sits on my countertop. But it wasn't producing fast enough for them, and somebody was stealing somebody's ice, and yeah, it was a whole mess, okay? It was like, I got a bunch of Barbies and Ken dolls running around this house, you know, the way they act sometimes. So that's why I did what I did. To each is their own. Don't go to everybody's prepping channel and go, oh my God, you got more preps than this person has. Y'all, I had over 2 years worth of preps. But it took me time to build that up, and it took us time to eat it down. I've learned my lessons. I've learned not to judge anybody else, and I don't do it. What I eat and what I have in my preps may not be what you want in yours. I'm not looking for the apocalyptic type prepping situation. I don't need the gas masks and all that stuff, y'all. Honestly, is it going to happen in our lifetime? I don't have a crystal ball. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not involved in doing that kind of thing. But what I am involved in is food security and making sure that my kids are able to eat. I don't have to worry about a job loss. I'm retired. My income is stable. I don't have to worry about a bunch of different things. But, you know, if I'm sick, I don't want to go anywhere. And if the weather's crappy, well, hell, y'all, if Uber is not getting out and driving people around, I'm not going nowhere. And if people are not delivering to the house because the weather's bad, I'm not getting food in. I'm blind. It's not an option. I want to have this food on hand for security reasons, for comfort reasons, to know that I can have a little mini, I don't know, grocery store in my basement that I can just go down and do what I need to do, grab it, bring it up, and then I have the satisfaction knowing I have it on hand. I can make it. It's easy. Things such as the Instapot, the crock pot. I got different crock pots. I got a 2-quart, I've got a 6-quart, and I got an 8-quart crock pot. So I can make different meals at different times, and I can freeze those meals and put them in my convenient freezer. You didn't see cans of chili on my prep list because we make chili homemade. I put them in containers, 16-ounce containers. I pop the lids on them, and I will put those in the freezer. I've got 32-ounce. I got 16-ounce, and I believe I have 4 or 8-ounce containers. I will go ahead and let you know it's called Freshware. That's what I get, 16-ounce Freshware containers. So like deli containers is what they are. And I use them over and over again. I don't put them in a dishwasher, but I do use them over and over again. They're see-through. And I will make quarts and quarts and quarts of chili. And then I will put it in the freezer. And when my kids want it, they go to the convenient freezer like, hey, I'm going to pull out 16 ounces of chili today, y'all, or a 32-ounce thing of chili. We're going to make chili dogs today. And if that chili's left over, y'all, tomorrow we're having chili cheese tots or something like that. You know, things of that nature. So things on my list may not be things on your list. Things on your list won't be on my list. But to each is their own, and you need to create it and make it yours. Make it fit everything. Your lifestyle, your eating habits, your dietary restrictions, your budget. Your budget, that's a big one, y'all. That's a big one. So that's what we have for you today. I believe the next video is us going into my kitchen and showing you how I do my stock ups and how I'm going to show you how to rotate your stock so that you always have the fresh at the beginning and things behind, and you don't let things expire. A lot of people say, well, it expires, it's okay. Y'all, some things are okay past expiration dates. Let me tell you, green beans was not one of them. Months after my green beans expired, they tasted like mush. They lost their nutritional value. It was going down rapidly, and you couldn't put enough seasoning on there to make them taste good at all. So I don't want things out of date. I really don't. Very rarely will I eat something past its date. There's sometimes it's okay, and I'm okay with that, but not all the time. So this is what I have for you today. Again, if you're interested in getting prep sheets like this that are blank, and you can edit yourself, and you can put all your items in and your titles and things like that, you can go ahead and do it. Now, it's going to be one sheet, but you'll just have to print it out over and over again. Like, you'll buy it and you'll say, okay, well, I want to buy this only as a single item. You'll buy the page, and then you can print this page 10 times. You can pull it up on your screen. You can edit everything because it'll be blank. You can edit and put all your items in, put if it's a freezer stock up or whatnot, or a pantry stock up, or a bucket stock up, things of that nature. And then you can go ahead and put your own quantities and things like that. And if you want quantities, you want packages, things like that. I like to make things that are customizable for people, because bottom line is this: I don't really know your household. I don't know what your needs are. I don't know what you want to do. I know what I want to do, but you got to make it what you want to do. So anyways, that's my prep list. This is my menu planner, and if I start to find out that something is running low, we had the side notes in there that we could put the side notes, and then I showed you my binder. Now this binder, next time I will show it to you in full force when I have all of the trackers that will be in it, and then you've got the budget sheets in the back. So if you have any questions, you have any comments, you have any suggestions, any of that whatsoever, please feel free to leave it down in my comment section down below. If you choose that you want to speak to me privately, I will go ahead and I will list my Instagram down there for you, so you can private message me as well if you have any further questions that you would like to get a hold of me privately. So anyways, y'all, that's what we have for today. Until next time, have a great night. Without Limits is out.